Hello everybody and welcome back to the Dragon's Library. So today I am finally reviewing the Flash movie that I saw like a week ago because I was a little distracted this week working on some side projects. Anyway, I really don't have much to say on the movie, but I do have a few things I really would like to explain. So let's get into it. Now for those of you who don't know, this is the new Flash pseudo reboot movie that DC's doing to try and get their universe back in shape. It's an adaptation of the Flashpoint storyline from DC Comics. All you really need to know is Flash goes back in time to save his mom. It causes a ripple in time that changes both the past and future events from that point in history, and ends up screwing up the world, leading to the near apocalypse. Flash has to travel back in time again to let it happen in order to reset the timeline, but it leaves rippling changes, which cause a reboot in the DC universe. It's one of their many crisis-style reboot events they've been doing forever. Even though I don't read them in comics, I have heard of those and the mess they cause. So it looks like the movies are getting in on the action. That's a good sign, right? When the movies are doing something the comics did like 30 years after they started already. DC, get your shit together. Anyhow, for those of you who aren't aware, don't keep up with this stuff, the main lead, who is playing Flash, Ezra Miller, has been the series of various different controversies. Now, I have heard about the whole choking out a van thing and a bunch of other stuff, but I'm not going to take that into consideration when judging the movie itself. Don't worry, he still doesn't come across as good because, he's not really good in the role, but we'll get to that later. I just wanted to make it clear that I'm judging the movie and not the actor. Well, I mean, not in anything other than his ability to act. In addition to this, we also are going to be having a few other surprise cameo characters, so look out for those. Anyway, the movie is basically the same as the comics plotline, except when Flash goes back into the future after saving his mom, specifically by, making sure his dad was present and home, so whatever killed her doesn't. In the comics, it's the reverse Flash, which I think makes a lot more sense due to his whole paradox thing that he's going on in the comics. But in this movie, it's spoiler alert, so I'm not going to talk about that. Anyway, he goes back to the future, and turns out he runs into a kid version of himself because he didn't go all the way back into the future. And this kid version is not playing out his life at all and is about to miss his powers. So Flash takes him over there to go get his powers. But surprise, when he gets his powers, the idiot younger version of himself gets in the way. And Flash loses his powers in the same accident that gives the younger version powers. So now Flash has to, get those powers back while figuring out a way to get back to his own time. So he runs to Batman for help. After Zod, yes, General Zod comes to Earth looking for Superman. And this Batman is not Ben Affleck. It's Michael Keaton, which is so much better. Seriously, this is the best part of this movie. I'm just going to say it right now. Michael Keaton as Batman is the best part of the entire movie. He's great reprising his role as that old school 90s Batman. It's really fun. I think he is by far the best part of the movie. And honestly, we spend a lot of time with him too. This could have genuinely been a Batman movie with a Flash cameo. However, we also have General Zod to worry about. Turns out Superman didn't come in this reality because of the time ripples. And it's Supergirl instead, which you all knew from the trailers. So they go to stop Zod, and time travel shenanigans happen. And when they get back to the future, once and for all, it turns out there's a new person playing Batman. Dun dun dun. So yeah, this is their DC Crisis reboot event. I'm not impressed if that didn't come across. I'm just really not that impressed. Now, there's not to say there's nothing good with this movie. Like I said, Michael Keaton is great. They do a good job with Supergirl, who was captured by the Russians and kind of tortured. So it's like, when she's finally freed by the Flash, she's like, thanks personally for freeing me, but I don't exactly like humanity. I'm not sure why I should risk my life to save them. But then she goes to watch as General Zod meets with the U.S. Army. They don't have Superman this time, though, so Zod takes the fact they failed to bring him as a personal insult and starts killing them all. And Supergirl flies back to them and is like, okay, I'm not a complete asshole. I can see that people need me. They had nothing to do with my imprisonment. All right, let's do this. Let's save the world. And it's like, wait, did they give, Supergirl 20 minutes of screen time and still have her have a better version of the Man of Steel plotline than Man of Steel? Yeah, this movie might not have, the best lead. Honestly, most of the problems with this movie I could put down to Ezra Miller. I'll get to him in a second. But Supergirl's writing is actually pretty decent, and she runs through the whole Man of Steel reluctant Superman thing way better than Henry Cavill did in Man of Steel, although that might have just been Zack Snyder. I have problems with a lot of the way he directed those early movies. Unfortunately, though, the main star of this movie isn't Michael Keaton, and it's not Sasha Calle as Kara Zor-El. It is Ezra Miller as the Flash, and also Ian Lowe as the younger Barry in flashbacks. Miller also portrays a slightly younger version of Barry. I think it's like digitally de-aged or something like that from 2013. And, okay, look. I think Ezra Miller did a decent job playing, like, young, dumb frat boy Barry. But I hate this version of The Flash so much. Like, don't get me wrong. The CW show version had his problems. That actor wasn't perfect, but he at least seemed more suited for the role. Ezra Miller is like trying way too hard to be a stuttering, nerdy teen, to the point where he comes off across as kind of creepy at times. It's just like, his stuttering is so over the top. Like, it's his energy is just not right for it, in my opinion. I just don't like it. I don't think he was well suited to role. I cringe a bit when he talks. It's just, ugh. Combine that with all the controversy, and he's easily the least interesting part of this whole movie. As for the effects, well, they're, again, the two sides of this movie. On one hand, a lot of the Batman effects are, more practical, based on the old movies, and those look great. Ezra Miller stuff looks like some bad CGI at times. Some of it looks good. I think the lightning's mostly okay, but a lot of the other special effects, the CGI is good. I will say they did some of the Quicksilver style slow motion effects, but the fact I'm saying style slow-mo effects instead of the Flash style slow-mo effects tells you all you need to about that. Just go watch X-Men Days of Future Past or whatever. So, yeah. I don't hate this movie. And, as my conclusion, I really don't hate it. It's mostly unoffensive, and for the DC movies, it's definitely in the upper half. But honestly, I would just, if I wanted to rewatch this, I would just skip to all the scenes with Michael Keaton's Batman, and then that would be my day. I'd probably check in on this version of Kara Zor-El. I actually really like this version of Supergirl, and I hope this actor, Sasha, gets to play her again, because she's actually pretty good in the role, and I really enjoyed that utter despair when she learned what Zod did to Kal-El. That was really good, actually. I would like to see basically everyone but Ezra Miller come back to this, but the end-credit scene showed that Ezra Miller is still playing the Flash in this new timeline, so apparently that's not in the cards. Like, seriously, you recast Ben Affleck, but you didn't take the time to recast this guy who's been, like, choking fans or whatever? Seriously, get on this. I don't know what's going on anymore. So, yeah. I'll give this a 7 out of 10. It's fine. It's inoffensive. You can stand Ezra Miller's particular as the Flash, it's fine. But, yeah. Moving on, we have the announcements. I have quite a few things lined up. I actually have some stuff in the works. I have completed another game for the stream, Killer Frequency, so I'll be reviewing that along with Tears of the Kingdom sometime soon. I am currently listening to a book called The Fourth Wing, and I'm going to be watching a new show called, what was it? It's that Kong Skull Island thing from Netflix. I don't have it up on my computer right now, so don't really care enough to look it up again. But I will be watching that and seeing how it is. It's animated, so it might be good. And finally, we have Elementals. I'm not sure if I'm going to watch it because I'm not really a fan of, like, pure love stories. But I probably will eventually. I'll just have to get to it. So, that's basically all my upcoming stuff. If you want to watch me stream, I am currently streaming Final Fantasy 16 on both Twitch and YouTube. I might be moving fully over to YouTube soon for that, because Twitch is doing that whole no dual streaming whatever. So, yeah. Moving on to the end card, we have the subscribe orb. Go to my channel, subscribe if you have not done so already. You can also check out a video YouTube recommends and a playlist for all the stuff I've done this year. We did a lot of stuff this year. Had not as much as last year, but I'm still keeping up with about at least one video a week, and we're trying to get back to 2 videos. See you guys next time. Bye.